Squid Game, BTS, cuisines, fashions, music. Name anything about Korean. There is nothing which is not popular or trendy. So, what is that makes them apart from the rest of the world? Here are their amazing lifestyles that makes them apart from the rest of the world, which may sound unusual or weird. In Korea, beauty and external appearance is a big deal in South Korean society. Both women and men are super conscious of their looks and goes to great lengths to maintain what is considered a perfect appearance. Almost all South Korean men use makeup daily to be perfect apart from being fashionable. Koreans are so obsessed with looks, that 1/4 of the Koreans had plastic surgery. So much so, that many of them consider plastic enhancements. While the majority of those are relatively minor, double eyelid surgeries, the plastic surgery business in Korea is booming. Here is something which may rather seem an unusual concept for many Westerners, it's love motels. So, what is it actually? They range from budget to luxury, from basic to kinky. And why all that? Most young Korean live either in a dorm or with their parents until way past their student time. So, this is not only meant for hookups. But on the quite opposite, many couples book a nice room for their date nights in advance. When it comes to their health or genetics, South Korea and Japan are the only two countries in the world with the lowest obesity rates, which they can be proud of that the majority of their citizens are. Now, if there's one thing that describes Korea best, it's their food culture. Food is the essence of everything in Korea. The public consumption of alcohol is also totally permitted in South Korea, and soju is their national drink, which happens to be the most sold alcohol worldwide. South Koreans are crazy shoppers, and shopping has become something of a national pastime, the fact of which is that the country has some of the largest shopping malls in the world. Thus bars, cafes and restaurants in South Korea close by 11 p.m. whereas shops and stores stay open until 4 a.m. for the convenience of die-hard shopaholics. Taekwondo, which is a roughly 2,000-year-old, is the South Koreans' contribution to the Olympic Games, a martial art that originated in South Korea and is even today the country's most popular sport. The social trust is so strong that they can leave their belongings on a bench or even left the cars unlocked, which in other parts of the world can't be done, without even worrying about its safety. Another interesting thing is that in case an item is lost, it's returned back to the owner. Wow! They can also hire a phone. In Korea, education is everything, and that makes them constantly rank the world best in terms of education system. But not only that, out of all OECD countries, South Korea is the country with the highest tertiary university attainment for people between 25 and 34. 68% of Koreans have graduated a university. Unique thing which can hardly be found in other countries is they have venues like Library Cafe, where you pay for the time spent reading a book, Photographer's Cafe, where you can try out different lenses for your camera if you have one. Interesting, right? When you travel in Korean metro, the unusual feature is that the fare is determined by the distance traveled. While on flight, the cabin crews are instructed on what to do if you fall asleep in flight. As they are very much health conscious, women in Korea are only allowed to stay in a heated room after giving birth, and they are not encouraged to use an air conditioner or a fan after childbirth, even in the summer. They are also instructed to only drink warm water. The puppies have a very special value in Korea. Puppy kindergartens are becoming increasingly popular. Every morning, confined owners bring their pets to the kindergarten and hand them over to professional trainers, who teach their students, the puppies, various commands and also take them for a walk in the fresh air. When it comes to strangers, the Koreans are hesitant to ask strangers out on dates. That's why many Koreans meet their soulmate on blind dates set up by mutual friends and, in some cases, by their parents. Really? So much so, that many Korean couples celebrate their relationship anniversaries more than once a year. Celebrating their 100, 200, or 1000th day together is one of them. Contrary to other society, couples in Korea frequently do not wear their wedding rings after they marry. Strange. Okay. When you forget your reading glasses and can't rush back to get it, the Korean post office's services there will provide them for you. Some Korean barbecue restaurants provide customers with bags to place their jackets and purses in to prevent the smell from absorbing into those items. Another very unusual and obsessed concern in South Korea is what others think of you, including whether they think you're beautiful and slim, is far more important than what you think of yourself. Looks are so important that a photo should be included with any resume. And how you appear in this photograph may be decisive for an employer. South Korea has made one of the most impressive economic leaps in modern history, from one of the poorest country with $94 per capita GDP, in late 50s, to one of the richest countries of the world. Almost half of all Koreans are either called Lee, Park or Kim. Koreans also say kimchi instead of cheese when taking photographs. Kimchi is life, quite literally for Koreans. In Korea, everyone is already 1 year old at birth. Not only that, on New Year's, everyone simultaneously turns a year older, and thus makes you 2 years older than your international age. The national hero is an ice skater, who basically won everything possible and sort of brought the Olympics to Korea on her own. You'll always see a smile on every Korean's face mentioning the three-syllabus Kim Yuna. Finally, Koreans respect rules. In bustling Seoul, you will rarely see non-tourists jaywalking or misbehaving. It's part of the identity and the culture to not cause too much trouble or problems for others. So, whenever you visit South Korea, you can feel at home. Thanks for watching and appreciate your support.